morning, everyone, and welcome to our Bible sharing this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. May the Lord bless you, keep you, and protect you always. The reading today is from Acts chapter 9 and John chapter 6. And both the readings have something to say about our friend Peter. In Acts chapter 9, we read that Peter cured a paralyzed man named Aeneas and also raised up a woman from the dead, and her name is Dorcas or Tabitha. And in the Gospel of St. John chapter 6, we heard Peter profess his faith in Jesus. When many people left Jesus after his discourse of the living bread, in which Jesus said, "Whoever do not eat me or drink my blood have no life in them." And many people exclaimed their dissatisfaction of what Jesus just said and laughed and complained that is a hard saying. Who could understand it? Who could believe it? And Jesus asked all of his disciples, "Are you also planning to leave me also?" And Peter, on behalf of his companion, professed, "Where can we go? Because only you, Jesus, you have the word of eternal life." Because of that, let us take a look a bit deeper in our friend Peter. Let us take a look at his life and what we can learn from him. I name a sharing today Peter, a type for many, and Peter, a role model for many of us. And just like any of us here, or any human being on this planet Earth, Peter has some weaknesses, some weak points in his characters, some flaws. And Peter also has a lot of strong points, a lot of wonderful virtues, and a lot of good characters that we can learn from him. Peter's weaknesses. There are a few, but I can name right now 3 that come right away in my mind. The first weakness of Peter is that he overestimates his strength. Remember when Jesus predicted about his passion and that many of the disciples will leave him, will run away from him? Peter very boldly and really believed in his courage said, "Even if everyone else deserts you, I will never desert you." In Matthew 26:33. And Jesus said, Really? Because tonight, before the rooster crows, you will deny me 3 times. And that's exactly what happened. The second flaw in his characters is that he have a disease called foot in mouth disease. Many times he just blurt out without even thinking of what he intends to say. For example, in Mark chapter 9, in the event in which Jesus transfigured himself on the Mount Tabor, and when Peter saw Moses and Elijah and the whole scene of extravagance, the whole scene of beauty, he just exclaimed, Lord, it's so good to be here. We don't need to come down anymore. Let us build 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah. Or when Jesus told them about his passion, after actually his praising for Peter about his profession of faith in Jesus in Matthew chapter 16. And just right after that, when Jesus prophesied about his coming passion, and that he will die, and that he will be executed, and then he will rise up again, and Peter pulled Jesus out from the side and said, God forbid it. It will never happen to you. And Jesus rebuked him quite strongly. Satan, get behind me, because you put your mind on human business and not the divine things. The third flaw in his character I can think of is sometimes he behaved as a coward. He showed his care, and he was indeed quite afraid. And sometimes he wants just to please the crowd, try to blend in with the crowd, and dare not to stand up for what he believes. Of course, that 3 times denial of Jesus, but also there's one time and in that 3 times denial of Jesus, 2 times he denied Jesus in front of the 2 slave girls. He was very scared, and he was very afraid indeed. And one time in Galatians chapter 2, 11 to 19, Paul rebuked Peter because he was caving in to the prejudice of the Judaizers. The Judaizers are the one who insist that the Gentiles need to adopt Jewish practice and customs in order to be saved. So when Peter saw some of the Judaizers around, he dared not to mingle with the other Gentiles anymore. And for Paul, that is a show of your hypocrisy. And so Paul really not agree with Peter in that perspective. So that's all for the first part, and I will share with you the second part about Peter's strong point, Peter's strength. Thank you so much.